5 movies filmed at real-life asylums and mental hospitals. 5. Shutter Island, 2010. Martin Scorsese's movie was adapted from the 2003 novel by Dennis Lehane and sits somewhere between horror, psychological thriller, and police procedural. 2 U.S. Marshals head out to Shutter Island, an anagram of truths and lies, dominated by the high-security Ashcliffe Psychiatric Hospital, to track down a murderous escaped patient but find they have unexpected personal links to the mysterious institution. In reality, no asylum ever existed within the grounds of a war fortification. Still, the areas of the asylum itself are depicted accurately both inside and out, including details such as the grounds and solariums. Many external shots were composed at Medfield State Hospital in Massachusetts, which opened in 1896, and were composited with other locations and CGI to create the fictional asylum. Please subscribe and watch till end, you will be amazed. 4. The Dead Pit, 1989. An exploitative horror shocker by Brett Leonard, who later directed The Lawnmower Man. This sees a stereotypical mad doctor psychiatrist who experiments on his patients in the asylum's basement killed by another doctor who then seals him and his remaining patients in the basement. 20 years later, a new patient suffering from amnesia is admitted and inexplicably triggers an earthquake that cracks open the old basement, allowing the now revived mad doctor and his slavering, zombie-like patients to run right across the facility. While many external scenes were filmed elsewhere, the idiosyncratic clock tower and many internal scenes were shot at the former high-security wing of Agnew State Hospital in Milpitas, California, opened in 1906, lending the movie its only elements of credibility. Its representation of asylum routine largely consists of the typical aggressive dosing up and fetishized hosing down of eccentrically depicted patients. The day room where several scenes are shot was the same one used for Green Day's 1994 Basket Case video. 3. Asylum, 2005. The author Patrick McGrath grew up in the long shadow of Broadmoor Criminal Asylum in Berkshire, UK, where his father was the medical superintendent, and mental illness is often worked into his books in some way. This is an adaptation of his 1996 novel of the same name. The asylum featured is Higheroids, at Minston, West Yorkshire, which opened in 1888 and only fully closed just 2 years before filming began. However, having been gradually disused over many years, the grounds and interiors were already somewhat overgrown and shabby. Filming during the fall, plants were spray-painted green to make it look more like the intended summer setting. Higheroids was among the most spectacular and imposing of all British asylums. However, the interiors were modified slightly to appear more like an asylum for criminals, which it was not, including adding a barred iron gate to one of the corridors. The movie stars Natasha Richardson, Martin Chogosh, and Ian McKellen and addresses mental health, jealousy, adultery, and passion, albeit in a somewhat melodramatic and old-fashioned manner. 2. The Professor and the Madman, 2019. Sean Penn stars as William Minor, who was committed to Broadmoor Criminal Asylum in Berkshire, UK, in 1872 after shooting dead a man that his mental health problems had caused him to believe was stalking him. While in the asylum, Minor contributed more than any other single author to providing definitions for what would become the first Oxford English Dictionary. While Farhad Saifina's movie uses 2 buildings to double as Broadmoor, St Edith's Asylum in Ireland is used for the majority of the interior and exterior shots. The huge building spans a staggering 1,630 feet, 497 meters, and was the largest building project of any type built in Ireland while under British jurisdiction. It opened as the Dublin District Asylum in 1903 and closed to patients in 2017. 1. Titicut Follies, 1967. Of all the films on this list, Frederick Wiseman's documentary on Massachusetts's Bridgewater State Prison for the Criminally Insane may be the most horrifying and upsetting of all, as it is all entirely real. His camera wanders the cells, corridors, surgeries, and grounds and often simply observes, occasionally allowing for interviews. It is an enthralling and appalling deep dive into both the minds, illnesses, and acts of the people incarcerated there and those of the staff, institutions, and wider society who felt this environment was a suitable place for human beings. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts had the film banned outright, and it could only be legally shown to audiences composed of students and medical or legal practitioners until as late as 1992. The reason given was an invasion of privacy to those being filmed. However, many believe that the appalling scenes depicted and their reflection on the state's provision were the primary motive. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.